So we're going to do our examples today of dialogue and incident RASP. We're going to start with our, first we're going to start with, let's do an incident first. So I'm going to give you a quote that I want you to write down with me. Okay, here it is. Once he went to the school library and asked for anything they might have. What's that? Yeah, over my drawer. About it. Oh, I forgot have. And I'll zoom in on this. Once he went to the school library and asked for anything they might have about it. ... Paulson, 50. So we're going to use this quote and our sentence frame to write a dialogue and incident answer. So the question would be, does the dialogue or incident reveal aspects of character, provoke a decision, or propel action? Okay? So this is the quote that I've given you. So we're going to start with the, because we're just filling in our sentence frame. Is this dialogue or is this an incident? Incident. It is not dialogue. It looks like dialogue because it's got quotes around it, but do I have to include quotation marks if I'm transferring a quote? Yeah, right? It's part of my citation. So this is actually an incident. Terry is not saying this. It'll say, Terry said, his father said, whatever. So the incident in the story does this incident of him going to the library and asking for materials to help him understand the Vietnam War, does this propel action? Does it reveal an aspect of Terry's character? Or does it provoke a decision? What does him going and finding materials about the Vietnam War do? Darius? It reveals an aspect of character, doesn't it? Doesn't him actively taking the time to go to the library and looking for documents on something that he needs to understand, doesn't that reveal his character? Okay, Darius and I are on it. Okay. The incident in the story reveals an aspect of Terry's character. So then we're going to go with our next sentence. So we have our restate, we have our answer. So this, and then remember, we do the same thing that we put for number one. So this incident, because we're not going to change it up. We're not going to change it to dialogue all of a sudden. It's still an incident. Of, and then we state the incident. Terry going to the library to look for books about Vietnam. So the incident of Terry going to the library to look for books about Vietnam tells the reader what does it tell the reader? What character trait would you say that Terry has because of this? Camry, what do you think? Okay. If I asked you, what kind of person is Terry? What would you say?
Smart.
Okay, smart. What else? Oliver. Caring. Okay. Okay, so let's say the incident of Terry going to the library to look for books about Vietnam tells the reader that Terry is caring because he is willing to do whatever he can to understand his dad. Does this explanation make sense to you? We good? Yeah? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw like a little line here on the side, and I'm going to write incident. Because now we're going to do our dialogue one. So I'm going to give you a piece of dialogue. Let me check the time. Oh, we got to get going. Okay, so here we go. So I'm always going to start with 2 quotes, and then I'm going to do one more quote, and I'm going to say, no, that's another part of my life, period. Uh-huh.
Are you supposed to hit 3?
Yeah, because this is a quote. So it has 2 already in the text, so I smash them together. No, that's another part of my life. A bad part. Oh, I moved it up too much. There should be 3 there. Yeah. It is supposed to be 3. Yeah, the Sharpie kind of bled together. Okay, so we're going to use the same sentence frame again, but this time we're going to call it dialogue because that's what it is. The dialogue in the story what does Terry do as a result of his dad telling him, no, I don't want to talk about it? Darius, what does he do? Do you remember? Okay, I'm going to kind of just give it to you because you guys haven't read the story in a while. Terry decides that he needs to back off. It says afterwards, he says, maybe I can just stop. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. Okay? So the dialogue in the story provokes a decision. Now, you can either do like we did up here, where we just put it in our own words, we paraphrase what the incident was. You can do that here as well, or you can quote the dialogue. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to say, this dialogue of Terry's father saying he didn't want to talk about it. This dialogue of Terry's father saying he didn't want to talk about it tells the reader that Terry decides to drop the topic. So basically, because his dad reacted that way, he said, no, that's a different part of my life. That's before this family. It's the rotten part. It's the bad part. Terry says, my bad. He says, I blew it up. I blew it all up. He looked at the table, then out the window. It was all wrong to bring it up, he thought. I blew it. I blew it all up. I'm sorry. But at this point, we know, because we've already read the story, that it's too late, because his dad continues to talk about it. Okay, so that is dialogue and incident. So we're going to practice that on Monday, but so here are your notes for it.